And now for the main event. Ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know me, my name is Dave, and I have the honour of being Chris's best man today. I say today because after this speech, I may not be his best man tomorrow.
Bu arada bu benim konuşmam değil, Dave'in konuşmalarını Türkçe'ye çeviriyorum. Bayanlar ve baylara hoş geldiniz. Beni tanımayanlar için adım Dave. Bugün Chris'in baş sağlıcı olma onurunu taşıyorum. Bugün diyorum çünkü eğer bu konuşma güzel gitmezse yarın aynı sıfatı taşımıyor olabilirim dedi.
So before I begin properly, I'd just like to say, ladies and gentlemen, that you all look absolutely radiant tonight. And bridesmaids, you all look extremely pretty. Is the bride herself. Sue, you look absolutely stunningly gorgeous. It's certainly a very sad day for single men the world over, as a beautiful woman leaves the available list. For single women, however, this day will pass by with barely a whimper. Who am I kidding? He's a good-looking guy.
Burada bulunan herkes çok güzel görünüyor. Ne demeler, hepiniz göz kamaştırıyorsunuz. Şule kesinlikle nefes kesici görünüyorsun, bence de öyle. Ben de konuşmayı yazsaydım her şeyi söylerdim. Bugün burada bekar erkekler için çok üzücü bir gün yaşıyoruz çünkü ablam evleniyor ve ulaşabilirliğini kaybediyor. O yüzden bu bütün bekar erkekler için çok üzücü bir gün. Ama öteki taraftan bekar kızlar için bugünün pek bir önemi yok. Çok bir şey kaybetmiyorlar. Ama ya, sadece şaka yapıyor. Güzel, yakışıklı bir de.
As some of you will know, Chris has always been a bit of a science fiction buff and a big fan of the TV program Star Trek. So you'll be pleased to hear, and he will be pleased to hear especially, that this speech is littered with vulgar references. Oh wait, sorry, mispronunciation, I mean Vulcan references. Vulcan. Chris is not just a science fiction fan, but a big fan of science in general. But just because I'm Chris's best man, it doesn't mean I have the same brilliant scientific brain as he has. Since light travels faster than sound, people may appear very bright until you hear them speak. But don't worry, you won't have to hear me speak for long, as I've edited this speech down to a mere 3 hours. Actually, I read somewhere that the best man's speech should not go on longer than the time it takes the groom to perform his duties in the bedroom. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. You've been a lovely audience. I first met Chris when we were young tearaways, I mean teenagers, at school. It was clear to me very early on in our friendship that we were slightly different academic talents. Chris excelled at science, I didn't. Chris excelled at maths, I didn't. Actually, I never really got on at all well with my maths and science teachers, but Chris was like a second science and maths teacher to me. He taught me that long division does not have to be torture, that the sun is actually a star, And most importantly of all, he taught me that if you turned up late for school, you could avoid getting in trouble for missing the morning chapel church service by hiding in the school sports changing rooms, subtly looking out of a small window to see when the chapel door would open, and then making a quick mad dash with him to join the back of the line of students making their way to class. So bless you, Chris.
Chris'le lisede tanıştık. O günlerde bile Chris'le akademik olarak yollarımızın farklı gideceği belliydi. Chris bilimde iyiydi, o değildi. Chris matematikte iyiydi, o değildi. Matematik yapan hocalarımla aram hiç iyi olmadı. Chris bana onların öğretebileceğinden çok daha fazla şey öğretti. Mesela cebirin matematiğin bir işkence yöntemi olmadığını, güneşin aslında bir yıldız olduğunu ve her şeyden önemlisi, eğer okula geç kalırsan sabah yaptıkları küçük kilise görevinden kaçabilmek için soyunma odasına saklanabileceğini öğretti. Odadaki küçük camdan kilisenin kapısını izler. Öğrenciler çıkınca onlar arasına karışıp sanki görev sırasında oradaymış gibi davranırlarmış. O yüzden ona çok teşekkür ediyor.
Another thing I remember from school is that Chris always had a very logical, unique way with the spoken word. For example, when some of us would sit down to eat the horrible school canteen food, we would ask Chris how the meal tasted. And Chris would always say something like, well, you know, the potatoes taste like potatoes. The peas taste, well, like peas, really. And the sausages taste of the meat that they are made from, so they taste like rat. But not good quality rat.
Okulda başka bir anımızı anlatmak istiyorum. Chris'in her zaman bilimsel ve eşi olmayan bir konuşma tarzı olmuştur. Mesela hepimiz okulun kantinindeki iğrenç yemekleri yemek için oturduğumuzda Chris'e yemeğin nasıl olduğunu sorardık. Her zaman şuna yakın bir şeyler söylerdi. Patatesin tadı aşağı yukarı patates gibi. Bezelye aynı bezelye gibi. Sosislerin tadı da aynı yapıldıkları et gibi. Fare eti ama kaliteli olanlardan.
Another memory I have of Chris is his prodigious pool play at school. He was amazing at the sports of snooker and pool. He had this unnerving knack of being able to pot a ball from anywhere, from any angle. Years later, we would witness this sharp-eyed accuracy when Chris, myself and Nick and a few other friends went to a gun shooting range in Poland for Nick's stag do. Most of us missed a lot of our shots. Then it was Chris's turn. He fired off a few bullets in rapid succession and then went up to collect the cartoon paper man to see how he had done. He walked back to us. We asked him how he had got on, and in his typically understated manner, he shrugged his shoulders and said, I've done okay. We looked at the image of the target and saw that he had fired every single bullet between the eyes of the cartoon paper man. So, Sue, you see, you are not just marrying a dapper English gent, you are marrying a bodyguard. Chris may be red hot with a pool cue and a red hot shot at the shooting gallery, but he is also such a great guy who is prepared to take a bullet, as we say in English, for a friend. Indeed, he once took a bullet for me. It was when Chris and I were in our early 20s, and I was dating a lady called Rachel. I wanted to introduce Chris to her, so we drove over to her house one Saturday in my car. We were drinking coffee with her in her kitchen. I went upstairs to use the toilet. And while there, I heard the screech of tyres as a car pulled up outside. It turned out her angry, aggressive, nay, psychopathic ex-boyfriend had turned up. The man looked like he was made of iron, like kadoosh, kadoosh, kadoosh. Not wanting him to smash the door down, Rachel did exactly that and actually let him in. So I rushed out of the toilet into her bedroom and hid under the bed. But from downstairs, I could hear him shouting abuse at me. I'd never met him, but he kind of realised he thought I was here. He said, "Is Dave here? I want to see this Dave. I've heard all about him. I want to smash his skull in. I'll rip him to shreds. I'll kill him." He started to climb the stairs. Kadoosh, kadoosh, kadoosh. Every step he took filled me with fear, and as I lay quivering under the bed, my heart was beating so loudly it sounded like the bell chime of Big Ben. Dong, 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 dong. But just as Rachel's psychotic ex-boyfriend reached the top of the stairs, Chris shouted up from the kitchen below him, "Hey man, what are you doing?" This big bruiser of an ex-boyfriend then charged back downstairs, ran into the kitchen and shouted abuse at Chris because he thought Chris was me. He thought Chris was Dave. But even though this psychopath could have attacked Chris at any point, Chris never told him that I was cowering under the bed upstairs. Instead, Chris bravely stood his ground in the kitchen, managed to calm Rachel's horrendous psychopathic ex-boyfriend down, and even managed to get him to leave his house. So Chris, thanks so much, buddy. I think you actually saved my life that day.
No, I can't do the sound effects. No, she's really good. No, I can't.
You tell me when they come on and I'll do them.
Okay. 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 Chris ve ben 20'li yaşlarımızın başındayken Rachel adında biriyle görüşüyordum. Rachel'ı Chris'le tanıştırmak istiyordum. Bu yüzden Chris ve ben arabayla Rachel'ın evine gittik. Mutfakta hep beraber kahve içiyorduk. Tuvaleti kullanmak için yukarı çıktım. Ben oradayken evin kapısını birinin kırarcasına yumruklamaya çalıştığını duydum. Knocking. Duş, 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 duş. And it was, I'm sorry, kapıyı çalan Rachel'ın kızgın, psycho, psikopat eski sevgilisiydi. Kapıyı kırmaması için Rachel kapıyı açtı. Ben de cesur biri olarak koşarak Rachel'ın odasında kaçıp yatağın altına saklandım. Do you want to see?
Is this live? Oh yeah. Ah!
And aşağıda dışarıdaki araba yeni sevgilin Dave'in mi diye bağırıyordu. Onu görmek istiyorum. Kafasını ezip onu öldüreceğim diye söyleniyordu. Üst kata çıkmak için merdivenleri birer birer çıkmaya başladı. Her basamakta korkum biraz daha artıyordu. Düş, 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 düş. Yeah, and okay. Kalbim Big Ben'in çanları gibi çalıyordu.
Dum, 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 dum.
Çocuk merdivenleri bitirdiğinde Chris'in mutfaktan "Hey, ne yapıyorsun? Nereye gidiyorsun?" diye bağırdı. Bunu duyunca demir adam aşağı indi. Adamın ona saldırma ihtimaline rağmen Chris'in adamın ona saldırma ihtimaline rağmen Chris'in yerini söylemedi, yani onun yerini söylemedi, Dave'in yerini söylememiş. Kendini ortaya atmış ve daha sonra kızgın adamı sakinleştirip eve göndermiş. O gün Dave'in hayatını kurtardığı günlerden biriymiş.
Yeah, so I can say that Chris is not only highly intelligent, thoughtful and kind, but he is also an extremely loyal friend. And as you will know, he is also a sophisticated man. No, he is. Okay, just go with it. He is.
He is. Oh, we've gone.
Hello? Hello. Hello. Yeah, so he's a sophisticated man, and he's thoughtful and kind, and but he's also a sophisticated man who has a great career and life in Berlin. You know, going to fancy bars and restaurants, that sort of thing. But it wasn't always like this. Less than 10 years ago, he was slumming it in the mean streets of Somerset, despite having graduated from the prestigious Warwick University with a first-class honours degree. Quite often at this time in our lives, Chris, myself and Nick would meet to go for a curry on a Saturday night. After the restaurant meal, the waiter or waitress would arrive with the bill, and Chris would invariably say, "Guys, I'm sorry, I seem to have misplaced my wallet." So we'd go for an Indian curry, and Chris would say, "Guys, I seem to have misplaced my wallet." We'd go for a Chinese. "Guys, I seem to have lost my wallet." We'd go for a Mexican. "Guys, amazing, I've lost my wallet again today." We go for an Italian. "I've lost my wallet." Actually, I think it was at this time that Chris choreographed his first great dancing routine. "Guys, I've lost my wallet." This is outrageous. You're a much better dancer than I am. Of course, Chris later moved to Berlin and found a great career for himself. But he didn't just find an amazing career. He found something much more important. He found true love.
Okay. Bundan birkaç yıl sonra, az önce anlattığım Rachel anısından, Chris Berlin'e taşındı ve orada harika bir işe başladı. Ama bu harika kariyere başlamaktan daha önemlisi gerçek aşkı buldu.
As I mentioned earlier, Chris is a fan of Star Trek, and he also enjoys astronomy. So Chris enjoys astronomy. He loves gazing at the planets. And I know for a fact that when he first laid his eyes on Sue, he was completely starstruck. He told me over the phone that he had met this very intelligent and very beautiful Turkish woman. And I could tell from the tone of his voice that he was besotted by her.
Sorry. You got your
He met this, yeah, it's fine. He met this woman and besotted her.
Okay, yeah. Bana telefonda onunla tanıştığı günü anlattığını hatırlıyorum. Bana onu anlattığını hatırlıyorum. Çok zeki ve çok güzel bir Türk kızıyla tanıştım diyordu ve sesinden bile ablamın Chris'in aklını başından aldığı belliydi.
Chris realized that he needed to cling on to a good woman like Sue. In fact, rumor has it that when Chris proposed to Sue, he dressed up as Jean-Luc Picard of the Starship Enterprise, got down on one knee and said, "Sue, set a course for marriage, engage." So before I take... Looking nervous. Before I taste the happy couple, I'd like to say that after 6 years together, you are both now at the start of a wonderful marriage. As everyone knows, all relationships have their peaks and troughs, but I'd like to express this heartfelt wish. May all your ups and downs lie only between the bed sheets. We're not translating that. As you probably know, Chris has a top degree in pure mathematics from Warwick University. First class. So what I'm going to say now is my own maths equation I've come up with. Bearing in mind I'm terrible at maths, I'm keeping it simple. Let's drink to love, which is nothing unless it's divided by 2. So, ladies and gentlemen...
Chris üniversitedeyken harika... Chris üniversitede harika bir dereceyle mezun oldu Chris üniversiteden. Harika matematiği sayesinde bildiğiniz gibi. Benim matematiğim çok iyi değildi, o yüzden söyleyeceğim şeyi basit tutuyorum. Okay, you already said it. Hadi aşka içelim. Çünkü o aşk ancak 2'ye bölündüğü zaman anlamlı oluyor.
I think there's more.
No? There's more? No?
Yeah, there's the... I'm sorry. We're so professional.
Wise.
I just need to say, just the last sort of English part of this here. Ladies and gentlemen, for the millions in attendance and the billions watching at home, let's raise your glasses.
Kadehlerimizi kaldıralım.
To love, laughter.
Mutluluğa, kahkahaya. Mutluluğa, kahkahaya.
To love, laughter, and a happy ever after to Sue and Chris.
Yeah.